4, 3, 2, 1.
How's it going, PC gamers? It is officially the 15th of January 2012, and this is Ironhammers Live, episode number 63. We are, of course, your weekly PC gaming podcast being broadcast live every single Sunday at 10 PM, or just after, as we like to say. Every single Sunday, as I say. Right here on twitch.tv/Ironhammers. Anyhow, my name is Bobby Gooding, also known throughout the online realm as Ironhammers, and joining me, sitting right next to me as always on the screen, many miles away in the world of reality, but the internet brings us all together. Hardly Daniel Natman. How on earth are you, man?
I'm pretty good, pretty good.
That's what I like to hear, man.
How you doing?
Yeah, man, doing pretty good. Not bad
Cool.
week at all. Anyhow, how's your face this week, Dan?
Yeah, it's good. I've had my stitches out. It feels really tingly every now and then. It feels like there's a horde of ants walking over my face, which is kind of off-putting.
How strange. Is that like nerve damage or something? Or?
Probably, yeah. It feels like pins and needles quite a lot.
Alright.
It's kind of distracting.
Yeah, I can imagine. Especially in bed.
Yeah.
If you've just woken up. Ah! There's a herd of wildebeest on my face. I don't know. Anyhow, man, it's been a pretty eventful week this week. We're mixing the layout up as usual. Last week we kind of tried to bring about a new layout, didn't we, Dan, for the show?
Yeah.
And this week I spoke to Dan last night, and he was like, we keep coming up with these layouts, and it was something that me and Dan had both thought about, ironically at the same time. We decided fuck a layout. Basically we're just gonna do a different kind of show every single week, and you're never gonna know what's coming up. So this week, bit of the usual stuff, and then we're gonna get some news out of the way, and then we're gonna head into a few CES announcements. There was one or two that were particularly interesting from a PC gaming point of view, and then when we finish up, we're going to talk about what we've been up to this week, which is not what we've been playing this week, so that's why I renamed it. And Dan's got some crazy stuff on the end of that list. I don't know what it is yet. I'm going to wait until that moment in time to actually find out what it is. But in the meantime, I think perhaps we should just play this music to start with, and then perhaps try some PC gaming news. How does that sound, Dan?
Yeah, might as well.
Why the
Get
hell
on with
not? So, getting straight in there, would you like to take the first story, Dan?
Yeah. The first story is our good old friend Soper, however we're pronouncing it, and the Ironhammers blackout on January the 18th.
Now, I probably shouldn't have given you this one because I didn't put too many details down, did I, Dan?
No,
but it
not
was
really.
something I decided today. Yes, to the chat room, everybody in the UK wears glasses and has a beard. It's a mandatory requirement. Border agency enforces it very persistently. I don't know what to say after that, to be honest. Anyhow, back to Soper. Last week on the show, before Jeremy puts me off in the chat room anymore, last week on the show we discussed a bit about our opposition to Soper in a kind of theoretical kind of way. Now this week we're going to make it a bit more physical, I guess, even though it's kind of still virtual. We're going into all the different realms in the fight against Soper, and you might have heard that sites like Reddit and stuff are going to have a Soper blackout on January the 18th, and we're going to partake in that on Ironhammers. We don't get the millions and millions of views that Reddit does, but I think the more people that partake in it, the better. So we're going to do it. So what it means, if you visit Ironhammers on January the 18th, you will be greeted with a black page which says this is what the internet could look like if SOPA passes. But don't panic if you want new content. All you have to do is click anywhere on the page and it will then carry on to the article that you were looking for, or the homepage, or wherever you were going at the time. So maybe it could be a bit annoying for you guys out there who I know read the site every day, but if you could just bear with it for the one day.
It's one extra click.
It's definitely worth it. It's just an extra click. You know what SOPA is, probably most of you guys. We explained it last week, so you probably don't have to read it. It does have links to more information about SOPA, and it also has links to how to contact your own local representative if you should wish. So maybe a few people stumble upon it who haven't heard about it before, and even if one person reads it who didn't know about it, then for me it's worth doing it. So it's going to happen on January the 18th, which is next week. So just look out for that, like I say. And just to kind of say that we're trying to do something ourselves to be a bit active about, after complaining so much last week. After some proper PC gaming news, Tropico 4 has had a new expansion pack announced, and there's a slight bit of a twist to this story at the end, but Tropico 4 Modern Times has been detailed a little bit more. It's going to launch in March 2012. You get a whole bunch of new Modern Times shit to build on your city. I think quite a few people are probably looking forward to it, because I know there were several people out there that thoroughly enjoyed Tropico 4, so they probably want some more content. But here's the strange bit about it, is that it's going to cost £19.99. Well, originally the press release said £29.99. Then I queried it and we found out it was actually meant to be £19.99. But it's going to cost 1,200 Microsoft points for the Xbox version and £20 for the PC version. Now I don't know about you, Dan, but does that quite add up?
No, that's like almost twice the price of the PC version. And we're looking at kind of, you know, with Steam sales, the price of a decent game for that. I think that's too much. Way too much.
I think it's way too much as well, man. For an expansion pack as well. I don't.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot in it to make it worth 20 quid.
£29.99 seems extortionate to begin with. I was like, I'm pretty sure on launch day I could have bought Tropico 4 for less than that. Like, fairly certain. So £19.99 is a bit more realistic and sounds about right for an expansion, kind of.
It depends on the amount of content, really, doesn't it?
If it's going to be that much cheaper on the Xbox, it seems a bit strange.
It's odd. You'd expect it to be more like 2,100 points to.
Yeah. Maybe that was another mistake. I don't know.
It could well be.
Who knows? It could be after the first mistake. But they didn't comment on that when I emailed them. But yeah, that's coming out. Dan.
Yes, Mass Effect 3 is going to be an Origin exclusive on the PC, so you'll have to use Origin to play it. Same old arguments. People are going to have Battlefield 3, but I don't think it's going to stop you playing it, is it?
Not one bit, man. It's going to take far more than Origin to stop me playing Mass Effect. Quite frankly, I'm kind of like, people should have been expecting it, really. It happened with Battlefield. It seems like people got over it fairly quickly when Battlefield 3 came out. And I think people got around using Origin to launch it as well.
Yeah, they did. Whether or not I do that myself, not entirely sure.
No. And to be fair, my personal experience with Origin hasn't been all that bad. I know it's not Steam, but there's got to be room for competition, and they've served me well so far. To be fair, I haven't gone and bought anything on there. I've redeemed a bunch of shit on there that I bought from other retailers, which I quite enjoyed that idea, man. I had retail box copies of EA games. I had games I bought from Gamersgate, probably games I bought from elsewhere as well, to be honest. And I just whacked the serial numbers into Origin, and now they're all just in Origin. I don't have to worry about where they came from anymore. Now they're not in Steam, which is where I'd like them to be, but some of them can still launch from Steam with Origin, some of them can't. Mass Effect won't be able to launch from Steam apparently, but if I have to launch Origin to get that Mass Effect 3, I'm sure we're going to do it.
Yeah, I mean I'm really looking forward to that game. Just trying not to get as hyped as you are.
Yeah, I'm so hyped for it, man. I can't wait. I really can't wait. On to our final news story this week. Perhaps good news, perhaps bad news. I don't really know where to stand on this one, Dan. But
No.
CD Projekt Red have decided they're no longer going to take legal action against people that pirated The Witcher 2. As you probably know, when it came out, The Witcher 2 released DRM free. They later reported that it had been downloaded. I think it was something ridiculous, like for every time it was bought, it was downloaded 4 times. And people were quick to say that it was because it was DRM free that it was pirated. But I think it was because it was so well received amongst the people that did buy it that a bunch of people went out and thought, I've got to play this game. I don't think it was because of the lack of DRM. I think it would have been pirated anyway.
Yeah.
If there was DRM. But either way, Marcin Iwinski, I think, from CD Projekt Red, has published an open letter to the community. He is the co-founder, and he says, we've decided that we will immediately cease identifying and contacting pirates. And he also added that we were sorry to see that many gamers felt our actions don't respect the faith they have put into CD Projekt Red. So all those cases that we heard about in the past are going to be dropped. So like I say, man, I don't know, should they be going after these people, do you think?
Well, I mean, it's their IP, isn't it? And you know, they're losing out. So
it seems
I mean,
that everybody's quick to blame pirates when something goes wrong.
yeah.
And then it seems that when a company takes action against it, then they're also wrong.
I know you can't have it both ways, can you? So
no, exactly, man. So I don't know that going around suing people and stuff is really the way to go about it. I don't know. I think despite being pirated 4 times every time it's sold, I think it's fairly well. Probably better than they expected. So I don't think they've really lost too much on that. So I don't know. But we should leave it at that for a moment, guys. We're going to take a very short break, and when we come back, we'll be discussing a few PC gaming related news stories that came out of CES this week. Some interesting stuff. You may have heard Razer announce some tablet thing. Did you see that, guys? We'll be talking about it when we come back. See you very shortly. welcome back, people. I've just been informed via Skype that we might be having a little bit of lag on our stream on the live version, so if that's the case, I do apologise. There's not much we can do in the middle of the show, so stick it out, maybe try refreshing, I don't know. Hopefully it'll fix itself shortly. It's fatality branded stuff. Fair play, man. Anyhow, let's get straight into a few PC game announcements that came out of CES this week. The first story that I thought I wanted to mention, mainly because of a fucking awesome headset and a rather interesting controller, was SteelSeries lineup of products that they announced. First up, they announced 3 new mice, which are aiming kind of for the low end of the market. Very simple mice. The can are the Kinzu V2 and the Kinzu V2 Pro. They've actually sent me a Kinzu V2, which you can see on the stream there if you're watching the video version of the show. So I'll be talking a bit more about that a bit later. But then they've also announced the headset that I mentioned, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's a new Siberia V2 headset, which actually has like frosty blue lighting on the ear cups, and it looks so good. Don't you think, Dan?
It looks very nice.
Oh man, so good. And I've been wanting a Siberia headset for a while, because I've always liked the white ones, and then now they're releasing that one, man. I've got to get one of them. They look so good. But then onto the slightly interesting stuff, the Flux headset that they showed.
Yeah.
It folds up in 2 different places, apparently, so you can wear it comfortably around your neck if you're just wandering about and you don't want to listen to music. You can then fold it again to make it even smaller, to
put in your pocket
so you
or
can
something.
put it in your bag or something, yeah, so it's even smaller. But then also, the rather interesting thing again is that you can plug the cable into the left or right hand ear cup, depending on which side you want it on. I don't know why you'd want it on a different side, really. I don't know how much difference it makes, but you can. But the other thing is, it's got a splitter on the where the microphone is. It's going to have a splitter jack on it, so that you can straight up plug a second pair of headphones in and share your audio with friends if you've got somebody sitting next to you. It's quite an interesting thing to implement straight into a. I mean, anyone could go and buy a splitter jack and just do that anyhow, you know.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite interesting that they're plugging that in, man.
It's quite cool because if you have a whole team, you can actually daisy chain a load of those headsets together.
You actually could. That's a bloody good point. I didn't think of that, man.
Yeah.
You could. It's quite an interesting idea. Not for anything, it seems like it's kind of aimed for a bit more out on the go, because you can unplug the mic and you can do stuff. So I think they're trying to make something that kind of fits both for gaming and for using as like a general pair of headphones. And then if you want to watch a movie on your phone or something, you can.
Yeah,
share
they do
the
look
audio
pretty cool.
But they look nice. They're going to have interchangeable pieces on them, so you can change the colour schemes and stuff. So they look quite cool, but they're not going to be out until Q3 of this year, so there's a little bit of a wait on them. So what we saw of them is probably not final. And something else coming out at the same time, I believe, is the Ion wireless gamepad that they announced.
Yeah.
Did you see that, man?
Yeah, it looks very small. But it's kind of tempting. I was thinking about getting the On Live one, so I could use it on my phone. But that one, I don't know, it looks like it's quite nice and ideal for, sitting on the bus or something, playing a game on your phone.
Yeah, man. Well, it's going to work via Bluetooth, and it'll also come with an adapter so you can use it on your PC. You can connect it to an iPad or a phone or your PC or whatever and use it for gaming. And it's apparently the same size as a deck of playing cards, roughly, a little bit bigger.
That's quite small, isn't it?
Pretty small. So I'm thinking it's more aimed at the mobile market than the PC market.
Yeah.
It could be really handy if you play games on a laptop a lot, perhaps.
Slip that in your bag.
Exactly, man. But yeah, it just looked really interesting, man. It's interesting to see SteelSeries going after that market as well.
It's quite a cool design, isn't it?
It looks nice as well. The only thing it lacks is 2 trigger buttons on each side. It's only got the one, so it's got. It has all the face buttons. It has 2 analog sticks. It has a D-pad. For the size of it, man, it looks really interesting, man. I'd really like to get my hands on it to see how weird it is to actually hold something that small and try and play a game on it. But it's got to be an improvement over touchscreen.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it has.
it's I don't know, but I'd either get that on the OnLive one. With the OnLive one, it's got several different ways of connecting, so you don't have to use the Bluetooth.
Doesn't it?
Might be a little bit slow compared with using a decent wireless connection.
Could be the case. Could be the case. That OnLive one does look cool as well, man. I do want to pick one of those up because I love that controller in general.
Standard controller, isn't it?
I keep saying it, I really do. But on to something else that we mentioned just before the break. Razer's Project Fiona.
It's a lovely name.
Yeah, I know. It's like they've run out of spiders and stuff to call their product or something like that. We'll just use chicks' names. Don't worry about it. It's just a concept. But anyhow, Dan, there's been a few details on it, hasn't there? I'm going to bring a picture of it up on the live stream in the video. Just the absorb platform, and it looks odd, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm not sure. It's really weird. Looks like something Nintendo would make.
It does look odd, doesn't it, man? Like, I really don't. I'm not so sure about it. I'm really not sure about it at all. I don't know that anybody wants it, but it's going to have an i7 processor in it, so it's going to pack a bit of power, man, and it's going to have some sort of graphics chipset, obviously, which hasn't been announced yet, so we don't quite know the full specs of it. I'm guessing it's packing a bit of RAM in there as well, man, to be running that. But does anybody actually want one? Like, why would you want to play your PC games on a tablet like that? Surely you'd be better off to have a laptop. I don't know. I don't even really like playing PC games on a laptop, man. Like,
no, I don't. Not unless I've got a separate keyboard and mouse that I've plugged in.
Seems like perfectly in line with the laptop that Razer announced, which is like $3,000. It seems like there's no market for this stuff. Like, and like you say, you mentioned Nintendo, but it does sound like some wacky idea that Nintendo have just thought up out of nowhere, like the
Wii U,
the Virtual Boy, stuff like that. It's just like, where are they pulling these ideas from, man? And that weird, I'm assuming that weird attachment thing comes off.
I don't know that it does. It looks like it's kind of. Some of the pictures I'm looking at it looks like they're metal and stuck.
Yeah, it just doesn't look nice, does it, man? It's going to be running Windows, obviously. There was a bit of controversy over a video that was shot by the guys at The Verge, Joshua Topolsky and all that lot. They had got video of it running on live games, which was strange because they didn't really make it all too clear in their press release what they were trying to do with it.
No.
And I don't. It looked like almost like it could be streaming to start with, but then it did come about saying that they were streaming some games, but other games were running locally on it, and the final thing will obviously be aimed to run games locally. So I don't know, but it just doesn't look like there's a market for it anywhere, man.
No, it's not like you're not going to be able to, get a controller for a tablet or laptop or anything else. It seems like too much idea, not thought to me.
I think they're thinking a little bit too hard, man.
Yeah.
I really think they are. But for some reason my camera's frozen on the stream. I'm not sure what's happening there. Completely frozen. Dan's still in full motion, so we're going to keep it going. I'll maybe try and fix it during the break. But on to the final announcement from CES, another one that regards PC gaming, and that is Connect for Windows. Is going to be launching in February, I believe. Dan, what do you make of that?
It's not cheap.
No.
It's like $250 they're talking about the price point, aren't they? And the fact that it works much closer is great, although I use mine sitting exactly where I am now, and it's like arm's length away, and it works fine for Forza, scanning my head. I don't know, I'm not really that interested. I thought I would be, but
yeah, perhaps not. Perhaps not.
I mean,
I'm not feeling it at all. I never really was, to be honest. but it's a different Connect. James was asking, is it the same one?
Yeah.
It's different hardware. It costs more. It's got a near mode apparently, which allows for it to work at close distances. Which Dan was obviously saying that his works at close distances anyway. I could see that the original wasn't really meant for such close-up stuff as on you've got it up on top of your PC monitor or something.
Yeah.
So I can see them using different hardware, but they haven't even mentioned gaming in the same breath as Connect for Windows. Like they're saying they're releasing like the SDK and everything, and they're saying they can't wait to see what software developers do with it. But they're not really saying that we're going to get any games based off it.
No.
So in a gaming sense, it's a bit strange. They seem to be using it for lots of other things. I know it's capable of lots and lots of other things. But I heard somebody say something about perhaps they're waiting for Windows 8 and it's going to be some sort of variation for Windows 8. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see that, and it's a great idea, but it's just another thing taking up another USB port that I don't think I'm going to sod it. It's going to be great for the way that Kinect's been used with a lot of medical stuff and things like that, and the one desire to actually work on the PC without having to get around it, as people have done so far, which is a brilliant idea. But it seems like it's kind of going to be like what they thought Kinect was going to be before they cut back all the specs on it.
Yeah.
So.
Because obviously they did take out a lot of hardware, didn't they, man?
Yeah, it was going to have its own processor and stuff. That's all gone.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I don't think they mentioned that the new one will have that in.
No, but you'd hope so for that price.
I'm kind of hoping it does, because I think it should be able to work a lot better like that. I think they kind of lost quite a few of the possibilities of it by taking that out in the Xbox version. But then they probably would have lost a lot of sales if it was a lot more expensive. So I don't know how you really combat that one, man.
No, I mean I'd like to try it out, obviously, but no.
Not for you.
No, not at all.
Not for me either.
I'm quite happy with the keyboard and mouse or gamepad. I've used it on my 360 a little bit, but it's not that great. Okay, it's going to be much better, but still not huge, I can see a lot of disabled people possibly using it. The speech recognition, they're talking about possibly having a possibility of being able to lip read, which could be quite.
Yeah, that's pretty advanced stuff, man.
Yeah. So then obviously the voice commands and stuff that they use on the 360, that works really well. Having that on the PC working as well would be fantastic.
Yeah, but that's another thing, man. Because like one of the cool things I think about it is the voice commands.
Yeah.
But can they not just put that software onto a PC and use a microphone?
Oh yeah, but then they couldn't charge you.
Well, exactly. Like that's the thing. You don't need a Connect to do that stuff. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
But there's loads of simply so they can read Minority Report.
Alright, I can feel that.
It's a big projector and Connect. That would be quite cool.
That would be pretty cool. Also, that what's that movie? Gamer. Have you seen that one, man?
No, I haven't seen that. No.
No, he has this like computer where he lays down on these beanbags and there's like a dome-shaped screen above him. And I'm acting it out, but because my camera is frozen, I'm afraid you can't see what I'm doing. But if anyone's seen Gamer, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And I was thinking, that's a pretty damn cool computer. And controlling real people in a computer game is a pretty crazy idea to do. One day. Maybe that'll be Razor's next project. Anyhow, they're just about that crazy with the ones that are coming out now. We're going to take another quick break, guys. When we come back, it doesn't look like I can fix my camera. I've been trying, so the end of this video on YouTube, when it goes up, is going to be a bit strange, because it's just going to have Dan and a frozen picture of me. But we can't stop, we're doing it live, and I know the problem is that the broadcasting software has actually crashed on me for the second time tonight.
Oh God.
And I've got the thing from Windows asking me if I want to close the program, but I don't want to close the program because we're live and it's still streaming by the looks of it. So I'm just going to stick with it, guys, and we're going to keep streaming, and I won't click that close program. Well, I'll try not to do it, mistake. We're going to take a quick break as when we come back. What we've been up to this week, I'll tell you a little bit about this Steel Series mouse that I've been playing with, and also somebody bought me a new mouse mat. They were very kind.
Did they?
They did, man. All that.
Full with the thing like that.
I don't know, man. Some foolish guy did it. It turned off. Actually turned off my older Durex, which is kind of a good job that I still know the people that lived there.
Yeah, you need to change that.
Yeah, I really do. Anyhow, we should be right back just after this. Just in a sec, guys. Welcome back, guys. We're going to get this last section out of the way and we're going to wrap things up just in case this software decides it's going to completely crash on me and then the stream will die altogether and everything will be ruined forevermore. So, final part of the show this week, what we've been up to this week. Not what we've been playing, because we both admitted before the show that we haven't really been playing an awful lot. Apart from, as I said before the show, I've been playing Unstoppable Gore, which comes out next Thursday by Future Mark, and it's quite fun. I'm still waiting to see what the release price is going to be though, because it's also an iOS game, and I don't think there's all that much difference between the two. But Dan, you've been playing with a new phone this week, I hear.
I have, yeah. I got my HTC Sensation XL with Beats Audio the other week, and I've been playing around with that pretty much all the time. But with the new Netflix in the UK, I've been watching stuff on it, listening to the radio, playing GTA, loads of stuff. It's absolutely brilliant.
I think Netflix in the UK definitely needs a mention.
Yeah, definitely.
Check it out if you haven't done yet. Free 30-day trial, lots of cool stuff on there.
Yeah, good price as well.
Even if you don't pay the £6 a month, which I am going to do, get your 30 days and watch loads of cool shit, so do it. But yeah, your phone, man, how's it holding up? Obviously, it's the first Android device you've had.
Yeah, it took a little while getting used to a new operating system, but yeah, it's fantastic. Really enjoying it. I just love having a decent phone that I can actually do stuff with compared with my old one.
Do you feel a bit more productive with that one, Dan?
Not really, because I'm just using it for fun.
But does the fun feel a bit more?
It's definitely more fun.
Oh yeah, I guess. And to put you on the spot, the best thing you've done with your new phone so far? Best app, maybe? The best?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Dog Catcher's pretty cool.
Dog Catcher is pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been using that a lot. It's really good. It works just like iTunes does with podcasts.
It does, except it does it all on your device.
So don't need to use iTunes.
That in the last week or so, because I've also got a new Android device, an old new Android device. But yeah, check that out. If you listen to lots of podcasts and you use Android, that is the app for you.
Google Goggles is fantastic.
Google Goggles?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's really good. It's obviously by Google, and you just use the camera on it and point it at something, and it does a Google search based on the image and tells you what it is, gives you information, takes you straight to the Google page to look at, you know, stuff. A mate of mine tried it on his Omega watch, and it came up with the watch straight to the website to buy another one. It was good.
Oh, that's pretty impressive, man.
It is. It hasn't got everything on there. It doesn't work. I tried it with Mum's dog, and it didn't come up with the fact it was a dog or anything. Doesn't work so well with that. It works with all barcodes. It's a barcode scanner as well.
Nice
So,
stuff.
yeah, it's pretty damn cool.
So would that be rated at the top then? Can you pick a favourite? Can you pick a best
It's
moment?
really tough. Actually, yeah, the geeky part of me, I really love anything to do with astronomy, and Google Sky Maps is brilliant. You can just point it and it shows you what you're looking at in the sky. If you want to find something, you type it in, press search, and it gives you directions as you move the phone around to show you where that object is in real life in the sky.
It's good stuff,
Which is
isn't it, man?
pretty damn cool.
Certainly is. So, yeah, you're loving the Android then, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Same here. I've just come from iOS to Android, if anybody missed last week's show. And yeah, I'm very impressed. As a long-time Google user and a user of Google Apps business account stuff, it seems silly that I didn't choose Android in the first place, to be quite honest. But yeah, each has their own things. But on something that I've been playing with for this last week, I'll bring a picture up on the stream. That's not a frozen video, guys, it is actually just a photograph. You can see two new things there. First up is the Kinzu mouse that I was briefly mentioning in the CES announcements from SteelSeries this week. But the other thing, which I have to thank Dan for here, is a StarCraft 2 mouse mate. You can see it underneath there in the background. SteelSeries QCK. Awesome mouse mat, Dan. I'm really thankful. It's great.
Cool, man.
Gifted it to me from my Amazon wish list. Very kind of you, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. The only thing, I did a little unboxing video and an impressions video over on the YouTube channel, which you can check out, people, by the way. And the only thing I first noticed when I got it out, it's really thin compared to my old Razer one. And I thought that perhaps it could be a little bit uncomfortable resting your wrist on it. But that's not the case. It actually turns out that because it's thinner, you get a much more firm surface, and it actually tracks and glides a lot better. So
Cool.
it's actually an advantage in the end. So I'm really pleased with that. Definitely a nice mouse mat, and it looks awesome with that StarCraft design on, which you can't see on that picture on stream because it's covered up. I don't know about SteelSeries being overpriced, man. It was only like, I think they're about a tenner or something. You can get the black one for £6. I
It wasn't much at all, really.
The Razer mat I had before was £15, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that overpriced. I quite like SteelSeries altogether, to be quite honest. £100 for a mouse. They have one mouse that costs that much money. I'm just about to get onto this Kinzu mouse here, which I think is £30, £25. But that's the Sensei that you talked about there, and it's a top of the range laser mouse with like ridiculous DPI. It's got an LCD screen on the bottom. You can customize your DPI from on the mouse by using the LCD screen. You don't even have to plug it in. Drivers are all built into the mouse, so it plug and plays. It's
Do
a
that
really,
on this one.
you can on some of the other ones, but it's a real top of the range mouse. It's got illuminated lighting where you can pick any colour you want, and yeah, that one's like £90 or something, but it really is a top of the range mouse, and they're really nice mice. But this one that I have here, I was going to try and show you it on the video, but of course the camera is frozen. Typical when I've actually got something to show you, not just my ugly face. But the Kinzu V2, there's a Kinzu V2 and the Kinzu V2 Pro that they announced on Monday. The Kinzu V2 is what I have here. The Pro one comes in different colours, and it has Omron switches, which are supposedly higher grade switches in the buttons. But this mouse so far, it's quite nice, man. They sent me the black one, which they call rubberized black, but it's actually just like a kind of texturized plastic. It's not actually rubberized like some of the Razer ones are. They've got a kind of rubbery grit to them. It doesn't have that. It's just plastic. But it's a low range mouse. It's just got the left and right click, a scroll wheel, and middle click, and then it has one more button to adjust the DPI. You can switch between two DPI settings that you set in the software. So it's aiming to be a very simple mouse. and like I say, it's about £25, I think. And the size of it is the only thing that's really getting me at the moment. Is that it's very, very narrow. And before, I've been using the SteelSeries World of Warcraft Legendary Edition mouse, which is the mouse I was using before, which is quite a wide mouse, and it's kind of shaped a bit like Dan's, what he has. I think it's that kind of shape. It has kind of an area to rest your thumb and an area to rest your pinky, whereas this doesn't have that, and it's very narrow. So I'm kind of taking a bit of time to adjust to it. I don't know whether I'll switch back to the World of Warcraft one once I've reviewed this one or not as of yet, because the sensor in this one is really nice. It's a really good optical sensor, and it's really great. So for what you're paying, you're getting maybe slightly lesser features, you're getting less buttons and stuff, but you're still getting a top quality mouse as far as the sensor goes, so you're going to be getting good results at the end of the day in the actual gaming. And the other thing I'm missing so far is my back and forward browser buttons on the mouse, man.
Yeah.
I've become so accustomed, because I had two Logitech G5s before the World of Warcraft one. Then the World of Warcraft one had back and forward buttons as well. And I really miss them, and especially seeing as I used the back button as a TeamSpeak button and for like Steam chat and stuff, my push to talk. So I'm kind of missing not having that there. I'm having to use a keyboard button now, which is really bugging me. But then again, some people just want a left and right click and a scroll wheel. And this is obviously what this one is catering to. There's plenty of other SteelSeries mice if you want something different. And from what I can see so far, I've only been using it a few days. It is a very capable gaming mouse for the price that you're getting, and if you want something really basic and simple, perhaps well worth a look. I really like it. Just not quite so full of features, but like I say, the market it's aiming for seems great. But onto the final thing about what we've been up to now. This is what I kind of teased at the beginning of the show, is not having a clue. Now, what I have here on the chat, the show notes, is Dan, Legend of Equip, greater than Pants.
Yeah, it's meant. Yeah.
Care to explain, Dan?
Yeah, it's an indie game made by a chap called Zachary Johnson.
Right, the game's called Legend of Equip, or is it called Pants, or is that the full title?
It's called Legends of Equip Pants.
Oh.
And it's a very short game, it's free, and it's browser based, but it was really good fun, I enjoyed it. It only takes like 10 minutes to complete, but there's a nice little narrative in there. I'm just going to put the link in the chat room so everyone can have a little play on it after the show.
Did you say it was free, by the way? Did you just
I did say it was free,
right.
yeah.
No, that's always a good start.
I played it, it was so much fun, and yeah, it's just a fun little game. The graphics are terrible, the sound's great though.
Is it a browser-based game, or is it a...
Yeah. You just click that link and you're playing it.
And what does it revolve around?
Basically, it's a kind of... I hesitate to call it an RPG, because there's not really much in the way of progression. You basically play this chap, and there's an invitation to a party, but you've got to be wearing some pants. Trousers. He's American, so he doesn't mean underpants. It's a funny little story about how you go about getting it, and yeah, it was just great fun. It really was.
Fair enough, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes these little things are great, aren't they, man?
Yeah, it was fantastic. So I thought I'd give it a mention. It's well worth having a little play. He's hoping to do some more chapters to it.
Alright, so you might not have got the full story.
No, yeah, no, but it's
prologue or something.
Yeah, it's great fun. Maybe the next one will be Legend of Equip shirt. I don't know.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps he lost the shoe.
Yeah.
Who knows? You know, turning up to an event with only a single shoe.
Yeah.
It can be catastrophic.
But yeah, it's good fun. Only takes 10 minutes. Right laugh.
10 minutes of anybody's time?
Yeah. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and the music in it's fantastic. Really liked it.
I always like good music in a game, man.
Yeah.
Always. To note something else I did this week, I went back and played a bit more Bastion.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I so wish I had it on Steam and not on Live. It just seems like I'm not getting the full experience. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I need to get it on Steam.
Like, graphically and audibly, it just doesn't seem up to quality. And well, let's talk about audio quality. If anybody finds a good radio streaming service that actually streams good quality audio, tell me, because I had trouble finding anything today. It was just, I don't know why, I've never really noticed it before, but today I was listening to it and I was like, man, this sounds awful. Like, you know when you watch a YouTube video in like 240p and the audio even sounds really bad? Well, that's what it was basically. And it was just really annoying that the audio sounded so bad.
Yeah.
And there's just things falling down around me. Don't mind that, people. Don't mind.
Yeah,
that.
I've been using TuneIn and it's been sounding fantastic on my phone.
Yeah, see, I was using TuneIn on my phone, and it sounded alright through the shitty speaker on my phone. It sounded great, but playing it through my computer and my good sound card and things, it was just it was rather annoying hearing it, man. It just sounded terrible. It sounded absolutely awful. But yeah, I don't know. I just can't find anything good. So let me know if you know anything. It needs to actually sound like music and not sound like it's being compressed through 100 different channels before actually coming out of my speakers, because it sounded terrible. But I think that's about all I've been up to, apart from the house falling down around me during my explanation of that. Yeah. Anything else you've been up to this week you want to add at the end here, Dan? Because we're running quite short this week.
Game Dev Story. Been playing that on my phone.
Did it get you, Dan?
Yeah, I started playing it. I was playing it in bed. Started playing it about midnight. Next thing I knew, it was 5 in the morning.
That happens.
Yeah, I've tried not to play it again recently because I just know I'm just going to waste a whole day on it.
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic game.
It is good, man.
Yeah, I just need to, play it a few more times so I can actually get the cash coming in a lot quicker.
Yeah, and you do that, and you'll do it a few more times, and then there will become a stage where you kind of have enough of it.
Yeah.
That does come, but very addictive at first, and definitely worth checking out if you haven't played that yet. Give it a look. But that's just about brings us to the end of this show, I believe. I don't think there's anything else we want to mention. So, Dan, if people would like to follow you on Twitter, where would they go?
They just type in Hardly Dan, and you should find me there. It's at Hardly Dan on Twitter and everywhere else. So
Nice.
that's how you find me.
And if you were to shout out one person this week, Dan, or one place, or one website, or one bus stop, perhaps they've just put a new shelter down and it was raining and you were thankful for a new bus stop.
I think it's going to have to be Steve, JSS Lifelike over at the Gamesman, because I realised he bought me like 3 games over Christmas. I hadn't really thanked him, so thank you very much, Steve.
Great stuff. So I'm going to shout out Dan quickly for buying me this mouse mat because it was very awesome.
Shucks.
And then I'm going to cheat and have 2 shout outs because I also want to shout out to Sebianoti on Twitter. He comes from a site called nave360.com. And he has made an Ironhammers Android app that we spoke about briefly in the pre-show. It's just a basic Android app. It gives you all the latest news and YouTube videos and tweets and everything from Ironhammers. And it should be in the Android marketplace soon. I do have an APK file that I can send to people if they want to install it before then. If you want to feel all exclusive, just let me know and I'll sort you out. But big thanks to him. He randomly got in touch and said, would you like me to make an app for Android? And how could I say no to that? So shout out to him for doing that. Do appreciate it. And on that note, I'll also thank everybody that come along to the live show tonight in the chat room. Always great to have you here. We've managed to get well within our hour time limit that we were trying to uphold last week, and we failed miserably. So I don't know if I mentioned my Twitter. Did I skip my Twitter?
Yeah, I think you did.
Follow me, I'm Ironhammers. Do it. And of course, check out the show next Sunday around about 10 PM. Come here at 10 and you won't be disappointed. We'll just say that. and I'm hoping there's another update for this software that I use to stream before next week, so that my camera doesn't keep crashing and they don't seem to be playing nicely with each other. So, on that note, we'll leave you guys. Thanks again for coming along. Thanks for listening. Ironhammers.org for everything you want to know about PC gaming, pretty much. I'll admit to missing things once in a while, but we try our best. Ironhammers.org. If you want to find us, you'll find everything you want to know about us on there. More YouTube stuff coming as well. You might have noticed there's been a few videos in this last week. YouTube.com/IronhammersTV if you want to go over there and hit subscribe so you don't miss out. A few unboxing videos and stuff, more to come. I'll be recording some more gameplay footage to put up over there too. Finally, after all these weeks of saying I'm going to try and get more stuff on the YouTube channel, I've actually done it, so check it out people, there's some cool stuff over there. iKiddo in the chat says about 11:30 GMT, should be about right. It's 11:30 GMT now and we're now wrapping up, so come at 10 just to be safe, yeah?
Yeah.
Come at 10 just to be safe. So cheers guys, cheers Dan.
No worries, man.
Always good to have you beside me. We're going to try and bring extra people into the show in the future, aren't we, man?
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to do what
good.
we can. We're going to try and get some interviews with people to do on the show. And as always, if you've got any suggestions or any emails or anything you'd like us to read out on the show, or a game that you've experienced that we've never spoken about, just send an email to podcast@ironhammers.org and we'll read pretty much all of them out on the show. Unless they're completely pointless, like Zero Wing, trolling with like wrong links and wrong Twitter names and things like that. Perhaps we'll leave those ones out. But
Unless it's a slow day.
unless it's a very slow day. But like I say, mixing the format up, who knows what could be happening next week. Shoot an email just in case. Podcast@ironhammers.org and we'll leave it there. See you later guys. Cheers for coming. Bye bye.
See ya.